Hey friends, we're live. I'm so excited. Hold on. My microphone. Okay, now I got my microphone on. Hey guys, I'm here with my friend Alice Edgerton. She's actually the most amazing human ever. And she is a total girl boss. What is so amazing about her is that she is the CEO of an event company. You say, what do you call it?
On the Edge event.
Yeah, it's On the Edge event. So she helps organize really massive, amazing events. And she also is the CEO of Fulfilled After 50. And so she knows about branding online, connecting with people, and just being really true. Like truly, I'd say about you is that you're just like authentic and super nice, and you have a really good heart. And I think when you lead with your heart, everything works. And that's why her business rocks. And Alice, I just am so excited. We met in February at an event that we attended together. It was a girls' retreat, and she was there, and I sat next to her at this table, and we just instantly like hit it off. And I was like, oh, she's so nice. She's my kind of person. So I consider you a really amazing friend, and I just adore you, and I'm honored that you're here with us today.
Thank you.
And Alice is going to be sharing. She's got 7 tips that just kind of your mind tips, like things that really have brought you a lot of success. So so I'll let you lead off and share, and maybe even share some of your backstory too, my friend.
Yes. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having me. I think it's the microphone that may be echoing.
I'm going to mute me.
Okay. Thank you, though. Love you so much. So some of my backstory, I'm going to wrap it up like really quick so we don't drag on with that. But I started out in network marketing, and a product was brought to me because I was at really my lowest point of a empty nest, some loneliness and some depression. And so I was brought a product that absolutely changed my life. It changed my husband's life after he had a heart attack. And so it sort of brought me back to being a calmer self. But in network marketing, there was a couple things that I found out about myself. For one, I never knew what it meant to grow yourself. Okay, and I never knew what it meant to be a best version of you, to be better than you were yesterday, and actually how our thoughts and our mind control our whole being. So I would say network marketing brought me a couple of things. It brought me into the person that I am today, who out of network marketing evolved into actually 2 businesses. By profession, I've been a dental hygienist for 35 years, and I've been able to come out of retirement of that through my other businesses that have evolved with me just learning to be the best person I am. But in network marketing, I was also caught into the compare-itis trap. And I think, as network marketers, a lot of people are taught how to prospect and how to recruit, but there's a piece that's missing. And it goes back to your mindset, and it's going back to your God-given talents that he has given you, that you are uniquely you. And I think sometimes we get lost in comparing our journey to somebody else's. And that's where we get on that hamster wheel. And sometimes it's a hard thing to get off of that hamster wheel. And so I'm not really going to go much into my story, but I hope you guys will follow me over at Fulfilled After 50. I tell a lot about my story there. I have a podcast, which is on Stitcher and iTunes and on YouTube. It's fulfilledafter50.com. I have written a book, which is up there. It's a international bestseller. It tells a lot of my story there. But some of the things I just want to get the point across to you today, because I feel like it's really important, is 7 ways really to actually detox our well-being. And I think mindset is key on how we live our lives. And it's just like, taking care of our bodies. I know, Michelle, you really take good care of your body. And for me, I emphasize on taking care of your body. But in addition to that, we really have to tend to our minds and our thoughts. We have 60,000 thoughts that go through our mind all day long. And I like to use the analogy, just like I have outside my window now, is we have a garden that we planted with tomatoes and cucumbers and all that great stuff, the flowers. So what happens when you tend to a garden, right? It really flourishes and it grows. But if you don't tend to that garden every single day, what happens is the weeds come in and they suffocate that new growth and everything that is just beautiful in there. So our minds are no different, everybody. It's like we have to tend to that garden every single day. So one of the points that I want to point out to you is the positive self-talk that we tell ourselves. And sometimes as women, we get caught in that trap of telling ourselves we're not good enough. And as you know, my sign here, Proverbs 31:25, she is strong. And sometimes we have to tell ourselves that every single day because we go through so many trials and struggles. And if you don't take anything else away from this broadcast, I want you to take away that the past is the past and leave it in the past and just go forward into the future. And how you go forward into the future is you're telling yourself every single day that I am strong, I am healthy, I can do it. So it's those constant positive affirmations that we're telling ourselves. But there's sort of a ticket in that is when you're saying your self-affirmations, you have to believe it though. You have to believe it into yourself for a change to happen. You can't just say it and not believe it. So the next thing is that I have had to teach myself this, and I never knew what this meant, was visualization. And I have spoke on a lot of corporate stages, and believe it or not, I feel like I was never, ever a speaker. Like when I got up on stage, my knees would literally shake to death and buckle. I would get red from the head to my toe. You know how people's necks get all red. And so when I went to New York, like 3 years ago, I was asked to speak on stage in front of 100 health coaches. And I had to visualize being on that stage every single day for 3 weeks in order for me to actually mentally be prepared to be there. And so the night before, my husband, he watched me write out this whole script, like index cards and index cards. And as we are walking the streets of Manhattan, and as I walk into the building, I get ready to go on stage. And I have to tell you, a wave came over me that they had this podium, and I laid down all those index cards, and I felt like God was placing on my heart, that is not the message that they are to hear today. And I totally just went from my heart and I said, this is the message that I feel like every single one of you need to hear today. And I feel like that's what we miss is in the verse where it says, be still and know, is make sure that you have those moments in your day where you are still and quiet. Because you cannot hear God's voice speaking to you if you are not still and quiet, and He is leading you into your calling that you are supposed to be at. And I would have never met Michelle if I did not adhere to that calling of one of my businesses is On the Edge events. And I put on retreats and live events for high ticket coaches that want to have intimate retreats for their leaders, or they want to have big hundreds of people events for their audience. But I would have never, ever adhered to that if I did not hear what that calling was in my heart that says you're a connector, you are an organizer, and you are there to gather these people's tribes that are to know what their calling is and for them to lead them. So visualization is huge. I do it in the morning with my morning routine. I do it in my commute if I'm going to the grocery store or wherever I have to go during the day. I'm doing it on my walk with my dog, and I'm doing it at night before I go to bed. I think some of us miss out on, it's like that vision board, but you have to visualize it in your head every single day. And so the third thing is positive people, guys. And I had to learn this so much. It is the quality. It is the quality of people in your life and not the quantity. It's not the likes you get. It's not the followers you get, guys. It is the quality of people that you have in your life. I don't care if you have 100 or 1,000,000 followers. Are they the quality of people that you want following you? I have fulfilled after 50, guys, and I just don't let everybody in, because if you are not a woman of faith, if you do not believe what I believe, then we probably cannot be friends. It's the way it is, because I feel like it's so important that my faith is first in my life. Then it's my family. Then it's my business. And so positive people affect your self-talk. They affect your confidence, and they affect everything in your life. I had to cut out all the toxic, negative people in my life. Even if they were friends, I'm sorry, they had to go, because I had to disconnect and be able to be inspired and to raise up. Because when you raise up, you go into another circle of other people that are going to raise you up. And then the fourth thing is positive mental food. And what do I mean by positive mental food? It's by feeding your mind all the podcasts that you want to listen to and audible books that you want to listen to. I listened to a couple last time I talked with Michelle, but I can tell you one person that I listen to every single day is Brooke Castillo. And Brooke Castillo, she has a podcast, The Life Coach School. And I get so inspired actually by the model that she has created, which is called
How do you spell her?
Castillo.
How do you spell Brooke?
It's BROOKECASTILLO. Brooke Castillo. So I encourage you, if you have not ever downloaded her podcast, which is The Life Coach School, episode 26, listen to it today, okay? Because that model goes into anybody's life, whatever business you have, whether it's network marketing, direct sales, real estate, whatever, in life in general. It talks about your circumstances that we have no control over. And then from your circumstances comes thoughts. And from your thoughts generate feelings. And from your feelings go to your actions. From your actions lead to your results. It is that constant cycle. So too much to explain into this interview here, but it is amazing. It goes in every part of your life. And then from positive mental food comes positive mental learning. I encourage you to learn something new every single day. I'm 55, guys, and I learn something new every single day. Either it's from an online course, it's from a podcast, it's from some resistance that I have to technology that I am learning. But when we learn something new, guys, you know what happens? It releases endorphins. It releases endorphins in your brain. And that is that happy hormone that creates the happiness also within us. So learning something new helps you grow and helps you impact as a leader your tribe. And so the sixth way to sort of detox our brain is it's our positive health habits. Like I mentioned before, it's just like, what we feed our body impacts our brain and our thoughts as well. So it's like good in, good out. If we take junk in, we're going to spit out junk. So we want to have positive health habits. One of the ones that I know that everybody can instill is just walking 30 minutes a day. If you walk just 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, it's 200 minutes a week. So when you walk, guys, it also does something else to your hormones in your brain, which opens up creativity. When you take a walk and you are out in nature, it opens up your five senses that sometimes we forget. You are seeing, you are hearing, you are smelling, you are tasting, you are feeling. We forget about those five senses to just be in tune with ourselves, and it opens up our mind and our creativity. That's where the greatest business is generated, is when you just open up yourself to being in nature. And sometimes I am just quiet when I go out. And then the last seventh tip I'll give you is rest and recharge. And I cannot stress enough how much sleep makes a difference in your life. Okay, if you do not have 7 to 8 hours of sleep, just think, when you are raising kids, or when you are in the motion of kids, or when you are sick yourself and you haven't had that adequate sleep, what does that do? You're making poor food choices. It's also those hormones that is called leptin and ghrelin. Leptin and ghrelin is your appetite hormones, which means that you crave foods during the day. And then your brain is foggy because you can't make the best decisions because you're cranky and you're moody. So sleep, I cannot stress enough. When you sleep your 6, 7, 8 hours, you are recharging those brain cells. And that's what happens when we rest and recharge. We are able to refuel our thoughts and refuel ourselves. So those are the 7 tips.
Yay! Yeah. I love it, friend. I'm off mute now. I put my headset in so I don't get that weird echo.
Awesome.
That's so good. I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so good with the mindset stuff. You know, I'm the teacher that's always like, do this. And I sometimes don't stop and do the mindset stuff. So I love this. Was so good. What do you guys think? We're getting so many comments. People are saying they love you. Awesome. Anybody have any questions? We have about like 5 minutes or so. Okay. Questions for our friend. I love walking in the morning. I love nature. I agree. I don't know who this is, but like, I agree. There's something my friend told me once. She's like, you just need to be out and you need to like touch dirt. Like dirt connects you to the earth and it just brings you joy. And so I was planting flowers the other day and I was like, you know what? This is really good. You just feel this sense of like calm. So, and what you said is so on. It's just like, we know it, but we need to hear it again. And I think now this week more than ever, right? Depending on what you're tuning into, you need to just do this stuff, right? Tune into this kind of stuff only. Shut everything else off because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Someone's asking,
you
go ahead.
Have the power over you, and you have the choice on, what you're going to think about and your thoughts. And I have to tell you, like, when I started out in this business, I had a leader that I was talking to, and I said, I think I really need to start doing Facebook Lives. This was like 5 years ago. And she's like, oh, you don't have any following. Who's going to follow you? So that is like a negative self-talk that then we start to believe ourselves. And we have control over those thoughts. That belief does not have to come on to you. And so that's why I want to encourage every woman, is that your gifts are so unique than somebody else's. And don't let anybody tell you what you can and you can't do, but you have to believe it in yourself. We all have a choice on how we're going to wake up in the morning too. We don't have much control of anything else outside except for ourselves. So.
And our thoughts. I agree. And I love this, everyone's agreeing with you.
Yes. We have to constantly tell yourself that. Touch the dirt, yes.
Awesome. And this was Veronica. Hi, Veronica, my friend.
I say, intentional living. And that's why I tell all my women is get up with intention. Like if we do not get up with intention and even just set 3 goals for ourselves, it's like we let the day run us instead of us running the day. So if you don't do anything, it's like get up, do your morning routine, but set 3 goals for yourself. So then when you go lay your head down on the pillow, you can say, okay, I got this thing done. But always remember, everybody, when you get up in the morning, today is a new day. What happened yesterday? Leave that behind. And let's start with today.
Yeah.
Today is June 1st. It's the beginning of the month. Go crush it.
First.
That's it. Yes.
We love you, my friend. I'm reading all the comments. This was so good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I love you, my friend. This was so amazing. Thank you for taking time. I know you're super busy, so I just appreciate you for coming on. And there's Angela. Angela was also at the retreat. She's like,
yes. Yeah. Awesome, Angela. Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for having me on, and I appreciate you. And always remember, guys, that you are uniquely you down to your fingertips. So just know you do not need to compare your journey to anybody else's, because your journey is right where you are supposed to be right now.
So true. Yep. Run your own race. I always say that. Don't look left or right. Just stay in your own lane. And you guys can find my amazing friend, Alice Edgerton, at fulfilledafter50.com. That's her website. So you can check her out there. And she has a
Facebook subscription box service too. So if you ever wanted to send one of your friends or something a subscription box, it's really all faith-based. So.
And so it's for women after 50, kind of like, right? My eyes watering.
Well, actually, it can be for anybody, because every other month is a T-shirt too, which they're pretty cute.
Awesome. So I don't know if it cut out a little on my end, but she has a subscription box service. So you can they find out more on your website for that?
Yeah.
You're so amazing. You're amazing. Well, thanks again, my friend.
Have a great week. It's Monday.
Everyone loves you. You got to go back and read all these comments. I love you so much, everyone. During the day. Oh, she's with COVID patients. Janet, you're amazing. Oh, yes, I agree with this right here.
Yes.
Love you. Okay, friend. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.